Do you want to give some love to your butt, bum, gluteals, trouser meat, handbags, booty? Well, you've come to the right place. My name's Natasha. I'm from Diverse Personal Training here in Mornington, Australia, and today's workout is all about the glutes. So this workout is really good for someone who wants to relax their upper limbs. Perhaps if they've got an injury, perhaps it was arm day at the gym yesterday, or perhaps you're looking for ways to strengthen and stabilize hip joint areas and the glutes. So as always, take breaks, take water breaks, press pause when you need, seek medical clearance before undertaking any exercise. If you're unsure, always good to seek medical clearance anyway. And please remember to listen to your body. You are in charge of this workout, not me. I'm just here for suggestions, this pretty face and fantastic hair today. Now, this video is a little bit different to my others. I had some recording issues, so you will see my mouth talking for most of it and it's not in sync with what you hear. I've had to re-record the audio, but all the content is the same, all the love is the same, and how about we just get started? Okay guys, so as with any workout that we do, we're going to start with a warm-up. So you can see here, I'm just lifting my legs up by allowing my knees to flex, allowing my hips to flex, and my ankles are just doing whatever. So I do thank you for your your gentleness with me. I did have a recording issue today, so I've had to dub everything as my microphone wasn't on, and I did want to re-record, but that would mean a delay of recording by up to 2 days, and I just didn't want to do that as the rest of my day was spent moving. So continuing with the warm-up, we're just trying to increase the blood flow to the hip and gluteal areas. So just doing this kind of flexion action is a really good way to do that. The other thing as well, you'll notice that you have what's called single limb support. So that's when the body is just one side is loading and whilst the other is not. Onto some calf raises. So I know it's a bit odd to consider doing, warming up the ankles and the calves during a gluteal workout, but the thing is we're going to do lunges and squats, and if we're going to do lunges and squats, we automatically use the ankles. So I want them to get warmed up in both directions. So when you're ready, raise and then come down in more of a bob than a squat. Raise and come down, and raise and come down. Find the pace that suits you and find the range that suits you. You might find some people can go a little bit further whilst others need a little bit more of a shallower action than what I'm showing here. Okay, moving on to the next one, doing some simple side steps. So side steps are a great way to warm up in any case, but particularly for this gluteal workout, it's just fabulous. Now, take it as wide as you like and as fast as you like. I'm just going to continue at this pace. And there's a moment coming up where I'm going to need you to keep going. So keep doing this action whilst I demonstrate some gluteal importance and why we use our gluteals and how we use our gluteals in just one specific instance. So you can see I'm tapping, so feel free to tap your feet. You can keep them a little bit wider, as I said, if you like. Please make sure your knees are fairly soft, they're not locked back. And make sure the rest of your posture is nice and relaxed. But if you do tend to fall into a bit of a slope, then pay attention and try and elongate your spine and just make that posture as comfortable as possible, but as neutral as possible. So keep going. That was my cue, my hand cue to say to keep going. So keep going with those side steps. So you can see I'm pointing to my pelvis and it's level, and that's when it dips. and I'm dipping it, or I'm allowing it to sink, and right now I'm displaying that sink or dip in something called a Trendelenburg gait. And that's very common for people who have a weak gluteus medius. And the gluteus medius isn't strong enough to keep the pelvis level whilst you're standing on one leg. So just remember, you're still doing your side steps at this point while I'm explaining. Anyway, coming back to the importance of the gluteals, in order to stop that sinkiness, we need to really kind of get that glute made nice and strong to keep that pelvis level, and we can do our single limb support. So now we're going to go into doubles. Now, not only is this warm-up brilliant because it's increasing blood flow to those gluteals, it's also increasing blood flow to our adductors, which is the inside of our thighs, abductors, which is the outside of the thighs. And you can see now I'm really using that single limb support by holding the leg up just a bit and hold and hold. So now I'm using that gluteus medius again. And please note, whenever I bring my leg up to hold, I'm not dipping my body, I'm not dipping my pelvis. My body isn't trying to compensate by, you know, leaning over to the side like I'm a little teapot kind of motion. So once again, please stay at a pace that suits you, and stay at a width that suits you. If you'd like it to be a bit wider, please go for it. And you might feel, just where I'm pointing right now, the sides, almost as if where I would have pockets if I were wearing jeans. That area, if you're starting to feel it burn a little bit, that's fine, that's normal. Okay, so for those who want to join me for a little bit more of a cardio workout, this is the highest intensity it gets in terms of cardio. Come join me now with a little bit of a skip and a curl. Skip and a curl. So that curl is really using the hamstrings once again, and it's just, you know, allowing our quadriceps to get a bit of an eccentric stretch, so that's always nice. I have to admit, watching myself and recording like this, I have noticed how much I use my hands when I talk. This is a very interesting way to critique myself. I should have microphone fails more often. What do you think? All right. So keeping that pace, please remember to breathe. Find a breathing pattern that suits you. And my God, I use my hands a lot when I talk. Oh, I hope you're having fun. All right, so stay with me. Feel a bit more of a bounce. Now, you don't have to do this option if it doesn't feel right for you. If your knees aren't enjoying that, just go back to the single side steps, or just to the regular side steps with a bit of a tap, and you can do 2 of those if you like. Make sure when you curl, you're not increasing your back to curve. You're really using your knees to flex, to kick your butt. So you're not incorporating a back movement that gets you to kind of kick out your butt and stick it out. It's this action, this curling action, is coming from the hamstrings contracting and the knees flexing as a result. We're going to have a break soon, guys, and we're going to move on to our first exercise, which will be a reverse lunge. I'm trying to think what I was talking about. That must be absolutely fascinating. So much more to talk about when when you're in the moment. So stay with me, guys. I'm sure you're doing really well at home. And please, as always, take breaks. So if you're finding right now you really need to have a bit of a breather, just pause the video, come back whenever you're ready. Okay, so we're going to move on to our very first exercise, which will be lunges. Okay, so with reverse lunges, there's a number of different lunges, but I chose reverse lunges for today because reverse lunges really challenge you and your center of mass, which I'm going to show right now. So you can see I'm pointing to my center of mass being directly over my front leg. My back leg comes backwards. So because my center of mass remains on that front leg gluteal and hamstrings have to work together. The gluteals, as you just saw, make sure my pelvis doesn't dip. And the gluteals and the hamstrings make sure that I don't fall over as my center of mass is challenged to move backwards as I stick my leg back out. Please make sure you dig your heels into the ground with this one. So if you're looking at my left leg, come back with me with a lunge right now. Let's get ready. Let's prepare, as you can see I'm doing. I want you to imagine that left leg with the heel, that it's really digging into the ground, okay? And right now I'm displaying what we're going to do later, which is what I did in last week's video with the resistance band, and that was with squats. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do our lunges and we're going to change sides. So I'm going to start off facing this way for you to see. So that's number 1, and I finish with a tap. Number 2, tap. 4, tap. 5, tap. 6, tap. 7, remember to dig your heel into the ground. 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we're going to do the other leg now. 9, 8. I know my hands are going out to the side like that. 7. Feel free to come with me. 6. That's just where I like to put them, where they feel most balanced and natural. Find what works for you. Nearly there, guys. Fantastic. So here I'm just pointing out the dangers of doing a lunge with a wide stance. So sometimes some people, when they're unstable and they feel a bit unbalanced, the option is to increase your base of support, so make your legs go outwards. And the problem is that your head, your trunk is going to come down and force your knees to come inwards. So you can see what's happening there, particularly with that back leg. That's not a good movement for that knee. That's definitely going to make some issues down the track. So if you're feeling a little bit, wibbly wobbly and unbalanced, rather than take a wide base, it's better that you do shallow lunges or hold on to something. So door handle, bench, table. I've got a lovely little ladder that's bolted into the wall, so that's my go-to. But you might have something near you. Depending on how unbalanced you are, you might need something in the other hand, perhaps a broomstick, and you can see I'm using an imaginary broomstick right now. And you don't need to do a particularly deep lunge in order to get all the benefits, okay? So let's keep that in mind when we do our next set of lunges. So if you're a bit unbalanced with those first ones, perhaps find a spot that you can stabilize yourself. And remember, don't do a wide base of support, just do them as normal. All right, same lunges as before. I'm just going to show you from the side. Okay, getting ready to go. 1, 2, notice where my center of mass is. 3, 4, it's relatively over my front leg. 6, 7, I'm digging my heel into the ground, and just look at my foot that's forward, toes are not lifting up, okay? My whole foot is firmly planted on the floor, and that's really important with these lunges. All right, other side, let's go. 1, 2, 3, don't forget to breathe. 4, water break coming up, I promise. 5, 6, 7, 8, arms, put them where they need to go. 9, last one, 10. Fantastic. I'm sure you did a great job at home. Okay, so we're going to get started on our squats. And like last week's video, we're doing posteriorly directed squats, or Ros the Diva squats if you want to call them. So we're going to challenge our center of mass to go as far backwards as possible. So that means you will have to hold on to something with this. Okay, so we're going to start with a wide base of support. So feet wider than hips, maybe another heel toe outwards, knees soft, abdominal switched on, tension to task. They're not rock hard, but they're on. We're going to come down slowly, bringing our butt backwards, and you can see I'm trying to lean back as far as possible. And if I let go of my support, I'm actually going to fall backwards. See that? Right there. So that's how far backwards I want you to bring your center of mass. So in order to make sure you don't fall over, your gluteals are really going to have to fire up and squeeze nice and hard. So coming down nice and slow, calm neck and shoulders. Focus on your booty, your big beautiful booty, small beautiful booty, whatever booty you got, and squeeze it on the way up. So please don't forget to really squeeze on the way up. That's one of the perfect moments to really focus on the gluteals at this point. And as always, we're not bobbing down, we're coming back, okay? So we're moving our center of mass back a little bit different. Okay, coming down nice and slow. Move your hands as you need. Perhaps they're on a door handle. Coming up. Very nice. Now focus on your breath as well. So I like to breathe in on the way down, breathing in. And now we're going to breathe out and squeeze those glutes. Lovely. I'm sure you're doing a kick butt job at home. Pardon the pun. Not really. I love puns. But anyway, coming down. Okay, nice and slow because we want control. So just a heads up, if you're enjoying this kind of movement, you're really going to enjoy the resistance band workout I did last week. So check out that video if you like. I'll put a link below. So just making sure that our knees are coming outwards like I've just demonstrated. It's really, some people as they come down in a squat, they allow their knees to kind of come into that moment that I showed you before with the lunges, and that's not particularly nice for the knee joints. You want to make sure your knees are tracking in line with your toes. So you can see I'm inspecting the direction of my knees in relation to my toes. So my knee isn't coming inwards and my toes aren't going outwards. They're staying in line together. But if you do have knee grief, I strongly recommend you go see your local physiotherapist, personal trainer, or book an online session with me, and let's get those knees sorted and technique down pat. So get ready to do some squats. We're going to do a few more now. Okay, so hold on to your support. Remember, coming down. Center of mass coming as far back as possible. Dig those heels into the ground. Squeeze the glutes on the way back up. Okay, again, let's go. Coming down, slow. Think of that control. Body weight back. Squeeze those glutes. One more. Here we go. Coming down, coming down. And let's really squeeze those glutes on the way back up. Great job. I'm sure you did well at home. Okay, so now we're on the floor and we're going to do a couple of different exercises. And the first one I'm going to show you something called a donkey kick. So with a donkey kick, you can see that my wrist is directly underneath my shoulder, not too far forward and not too far back. So wrists directly underneath shoulders, and the same goes for your hips. You want your knees to be directly underneath your hips. So right now I'm showing you, I'm not turning my hands in or out. They're pretty much just where they want to fall naturally, okay? Elbows are not locked, they're a little bit flexed, okay? And you can see me demonstrating the knee position there right now. So make sure knees are underneath hips. If you need a mirror, go for it, or your reflection. Otherwise, you'd be surprised just where you feel is appropriate. Now, we're going to transition our weight to one side and kick the leg back. So you can see I'm transitioning my weight to my left side and I'm going to kick my right leg back. And as I kick my right leg back, that knee extends and that hip extends. So that's the donkey kick right there. 2, 3, and squeeze your glute when you do it. 4, can you squeeze yours harder? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, raise that leg higher. 10, 11, raise it higher. 12, and you'll feel it. 13, 14, and 15. So you may have noticed my back change shape. So you could see, if you look right now, my back's fairly flat, and the further I kicked out, the more of a arch I got in my back. I will show you soon a alternative if you like to do on a step. I'm displaying an alternative right now, so coming down on my elbows. This is really good for if you've just done those donkey kicks and those wrists are hurting a little, okay? So if you like, coming down onto your elbows and just weight bearing all the way through that forearm instead of just the wrists. But I'm going to come back to the wrists for the next lot. And like I said, don't lock those elbows. They're staying a little bit relaxed. Okay, so this is an alternative position for the donkey kicks. So this is really good for those people who coming down all the way on the ground just isn't comfortable. So getting a small stool in this position is a really good option. You can see I'm weight bearing through my forearm, not through my wrist. So give this one a go if you feel like it's going to be a bit more comfortable for you. And once again, I'm doing 15 here. Remember, the higher you bring that back leg, the more of a workout you're going to feel in the gluteal and hip. So the last 15, let's go. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Whoops, I undercounted, I'm afraid. All right, so lying on your back, we're going to do some bridges. And there's all sorts of bridges and bridging technique, but I'm going to give you a few options and I'm going to hold. So I'm displaying the holding option right now. Neck is calm, shoulders calm, arms on the ground nice and calm. Digging my heels into the ground and lifting my pelvis up. And the higher I lift it, the more I have to squeeze my glutes and hamstrings to try and hold me up there. Okay, so if this is feeling a bit uncomfortable for you, I recommend you go see a local physiotherapist, exercise physiologist, to find out what's happening. And if you need to, find different ways to do bridges that aren't going to hurt as much or aren't going to feel uncomfortable, because there are a variety of techniques. So now I'm just showing you how there's another option to just come up and then come down fully. So make sure your butt touches the ground on the way down. The next option I'm going to show you is just a little pulse. So you can see I'm up and down a little, up and down a little. So my butt's not going all the way down to the floor. So that's a little pulse. That's another option you can do. The last option I'm going to show is with one leg in the air, and I do recommend this one for people who have done bridges a few times, looking for a bit of a challenge, people who have strong glutes and hip muscles. This is a good one. So you can see one leg in the air. So I'm holding the bridge and I'm just leaving my one leg in the air. I'm just going to count, and you are more than welcome to actually count the number of repetitions if you'd like to come up then down, or switch your legs as I've just shown. But I'm just going to count for 15 seconds, but you can use that as 15 repetitions if you'd like. Okay, so getting ready, make sure you're in a good position, neck is relaxed, shoulders are relaxed, arms are nice and relaxed. and figure out which option you're going to go for, whether you're going to hold with me or pulse. Okay, getting ready. Don't forget to dig those heels into the ground. Okay. And we're going to contract our glutes and lift and hold for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I should come down. There we go. So guys, you may have got one more repetition out. I know I definitely counted for 15, but I think I counted a bit slower. Rest assured, next round I will go a little slower. Oh, that was when the fly came up to visit me. I just shooed it away. Hope you're enjoying this dubbing. Might feel like you're watching a foreign film right now. Okay, so we're going to get ready for round 2. Same thing as before. If you were holding with me but you prefer to do the pulses, feel free to do that. Switcheroo, whatever you like. Listen to your body. Okay, and when we're ready, we're going to come up and we're going to hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Coming down. Hope that felt quite nice for you. So you should feel a bit of work in those hamstrings, the back of the thighs. And this really is such a good exercise, not only for the glutes, but it's a really good one for those hamstrings. So if you do have knee issues, you want to really work the knee musculature around the knees to help kind of offload any pressure. And this is a really good one for that. Hamstring work is always great, and this is a really good one. Okay. So last round, lift even higher if you can. And we're up to 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, arms relaxed, 3, 2, and 1. I apologize. Oh, no, I got the timing right. Okay, come up because we're going to do some stretches. Okay, so first stretch of the day. Fantastic one for the hip flexors. So we did do some squats and we did do some lunges, so we worked those hip flexors. I do recommend this type of stretch regardless. It's a great one. So kneeling like you're going to propose, and bring your center of mass forward, and now tuck your pelvis underneath yourself as I've just shown. And it's really, for me personally, that tucking of the pelvis that I really feel that stretch in the hips of the leg that's behind me. So the leg that's behind you, you want to imagine that it's going almost into a backwards part of a split. And that front leg is kind of propelling you forward. So I'm going to show you the same stretch, different sides, so swap sides, and you're going to see my side view. So I bring my center of mass forward, I tuck my pelvis underneath myself, okay? Did you see that? Tuck the pelvis underneath myself, bring center of mass forward, and the leg that's behind me going into that almost splits position, that's where I feel the stretch at the front of that hip. So holding, and please remember to breathe and relax the rest of your body. Let's not hold everything else in tension. Nice big deep breath, and let's come out. Okay, moving on to the next stretch. This one's a bit of a hamstring one. We did do a lot of hamstring work today, in fact. So we're just going to balance and bring our leg out in front. Of course, if balance isn't the best thing for you, you can do this one standing up. You can hold onto a wall. You can come down a little bit and touch the floor if you need, like I have. And you just bring that leg out in front of you, making your knee straight. And as I just pointed out, toes towards your nose if you like. That gets the calf kind of stretch. So when I say toes to my nose, I'm like bringing my ankle forward. I'm bringing my toes up. Now that's not necessary at all. That stretch doesn't work the hamstrings, but making the knee straight and bending forward does stretch those hamstrings. So again, get ready to swap sides, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like from this angle. So leg out in front, toes towards my nose if I like, knees straight, and did you see that? I did not collapse through my back. My back is straight. You could run a pole along my butt and my back and my head, and it's one straight line, and I want you to do the exact same thing. Holding onto the wall if you need, and just sit in that stretch and just feel it do its magic. Take a deep breath in, breathe out and relax. Okay. Last stretch of the day, fantastic one for the glutes. So there's a few ways to get into it. You've just seen me get into it this way. So I've just brought my right leg in front of me. Now, the closer your ankle is towards you, the easier it is. The more your ankle is towards the camera or the TV in this case, the more of a stretch you're going to feel, and you're going to feel it just where I pointed out in that gluteal. So you're then going to slowly come down whilst sliding that left leg backwards, and I am going to show you a side view in a minute. Some of you may know this stretch already. I love this stretch. You really feel a fantastic glute stretch in this, but it's very easy to freeze yourself and lock yourself up. So I like to come down onto my elbows and weight bear through my forearms and take a deep breath in, breathe out, and just sink down into my hip, sinking my weight down through to the floor and allowing the muscles of my gluteals and around my hips to just relax and stretch and remain open. So just holding this for a little bit longer, and we're going to swap sides soon. Deep breath, breathe out, and sink just that little bit further if you can. Okay, coming out. Bit of a hair flick if you can do one. Okay, so the other way to get into it, you can see I'm sitting on my butt, and now my legs are put into this kind of position. So one's out in front, one's out behind. Knees are both bent. So if you would like to get into the stretch in this position, this is also another option. It's probably the easiest for those with balance issues. So remembering that we're going to do our left side now. So left leg is in front. Bring our body weight forward and try and shuffle that right leg back a little bit. Let it slide. Find the comfy place for your ankle. Closer towards your hip is comfortable. More towards your elbow is going to be a bit more of a stretch. Come down when you're ready. Weight bear onto those forearms. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just make a nice, calm exhale and allow your body to sink. Allow that hip flexor to just keep stretching. Allow your center of mass, allow your body weight to help you out. This is a fantastic stretch where your body weight is your best friend, and it's going to help open up that not hip flexor, your gluteals, and going to help stretch that. Shuffle that leg backwards if you need a bit. Remain calm and try and let go of any tension. Like I said, it's very easy in this stretch to get a little bit tense and to lock up. All right, coming up and out, and that's the last of our stretches done. So right here, I guarantee you, I'm thanking you for coming and visiting my channel, and I am hoping that you enjoyed your workout today. As always, if you want to get in touch, I'll leave all the links in the description below, as well as timestamps. Happy to take any suggestions. I am hoping to move forward with these videos in more of just straight up exercise and have tutorials for how to do a certain lunge. I have noticed that a lot of these workouts have been focused a lot on, you know, we get decent into a workout and then there's a lot of explaining in the middle. Going to try and streamline that. So please enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you've enjoyed this workout. I know I have. Take lots of rest breaks in the future if you need. Listen to your body. Thank you so much for coming along, and I hope to see you again soon. All right, guys, take care. Bye.